The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The health department logs 4,000 fresh COVID 19 cases. That brings the country's caseload to above 2,783,000, some 47,000 of which are still active. The virus killed 423 more patients overnight, pushing the nationwide death toll to more than 43,000. This is the highest one-day tally of COVID-19 fatalities since the onset of the pandemic. Now, recoveries, meanwhile, stand at over 2,693,000, with 6,800 new survivors today. Now, out of some 50,000 people recently tested for COVID 19, 7.8% yielded positive results. Now, to help us make sense of these numbers, Professor Guido David of Octa Research Group is joining us this evening via the line. Sir Guido, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Riza.
Sir Guido, what can you say about today's numbers, especially on deaths? Is this a sign of a looming surge in cases?
Well, firstly, about the number of cases, we were expecting about 3,000 to 4,000 today, and this is actually in line with our expectations. I haven't done the calculations yet, but I would assume that the 7-day average in new cases in the country has decreased. It was around 4,600 yesterday. So the trend is still downward, but the high number of deaths is alarming. And this is not just a one-time thing. I mean, the 7-day average in deaths has been rising. And this is actually very, I would say, curious because right now we have more than 10% of cases. The percentage of deaths to cases is about 10%, and this I don't remember this happening anytime before. My best guess is that we're still on a downward trend, but because the cases there are cases still rising in some parts of the country in some of the provinces. The death rate might be higher in these areas than compared to, let's say, the NCR, where healthcare is better and more people are vaccinated.
Sure, but somehow on a good note, the positivity rate, particularly in Metro Manila, is decreasing. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, that's actually good news. I actually tweeted that earlier today in my Twitter. I am Guido David. The positivity rate in Metro Manila actually decreased to 5% for the first time since sometime in July. So if we recall, a 5% positivity rate is actually the recommended positivity rate by the World Health Organization. It means that we are seeing a downward trend definitely in Metro Manila.
So with that being said, rather, in the given projection and the situation, do you agree with the extending of the alert level 3 status in NCR?
Well, we support the decision to extend the alert level 3 and the NCR, although actually we were supporting also a move to alert level 2, the reason being that most of the indicators in the NCR are already low. For example, positivity rate at 5% is low. The reproduction number is 0.55, which is also low. And healthcare utilization is already below 50%. In fact, it's below 40%. And that's also at low. The only indicator at moderate is the daily attack rate in the NCR. So because of these low indicators, we feel that we could actually move to alert level 2, but the IATF decided to be more cautious and retained alert level 3, and we will support that as well.
Sir, would you say we're seeing a merrier Christmas, perhaps, for most of the Filipinos in the country? And what should the public be expecting in the next coming weeks and months?
Yes, actually, I am optimistic that we'll be seeing a Merry Christmas. We're hoping that cases will decrease to about 2,000 by November, sometime before the end of November. We're hoping that cases will further decrease. And I think that most areas will probably be over the Delta variant by December. I mean, I know that some areas still battling the Delta variant right now. For example, Dumaguete and Occidental Mindoro and Zamboanga cities just on a downward trend. But I think that they should be over the Delta surge soon.
All right, that's good news. And thank you, as always, Professor Guido David, for sharing with us your insights. That's Professor Guido David, a fellow of the Octa Research. Meanwhile, more than 1.5 million AstraZeneca shots arrived in the Philippines this afternoon. The vaccines are donations to the Philippine government through the World Health Organization's COVAX facility. This came just hours after the arrival of 1 million jabs donated by Japan. The shipments bring the country's total vaccine supply to more than 100 million. Presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao visited Panglao, Bohol earlier today. There he was swarmed by large crowds hoping to receive cash from him. Jenny Dongon with the details.
Large crowds rushed this open field in Barangay Poblacion in Panglao, Bohol for presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao, who arrived on board a chopper on Saturday. Due to the surge of people, authorities were overwhelmed and health protocols were apparently not observed. It was also raining during the time, but residents braved on in the hopes of receiving an ayuda from the senator. Pacquiao emphasized, though, that the aid distribution is not a way to buy the people's votes.
Pero hindi maiwasan eh. Kumbaga, ang tao talaga, unang-una, sabik siguro silang makita ako, itong pamimigay ko, alam niyo sa totoo lang. Ngayon lang kasi na nababalita ito, pero 2002 ko pa ito ginagawa. Kahit nung hindi pa ako politician, ginagawa ko nito sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Pero hindi ko lang pinamamalita, hindi nalaman nila. Kaya ngayon, patuloy yun. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, namimigay ako.
But while many are against Pacquiao's move, some residents were grateful as the cash aid is a big help for their families.
Tiyes po ako kasi mahirap ako. Gusto ko si Pacquiao na makita. Gusto ko si Pacquiao. Wala kaming bigas!
Aside from handing out cash and relief goods, Pacquiao also went around Tagbilaran City. The presidential aspirant also had a courtesy meeting with Bohol Governor Arthur Yap. Meanwhile, Pacquiao agreed to the proposal of ex-Comelec Chairman Christian Munsod to have a public vetting for President Duterte's 2022 appointees to the poll body.
Sa atin lang, nandiyan pa rin yung tiwala natin sa magiging ma-appoint na mga commission kung sino man yan. Nagtitiwala pa rin kami na gagampanan nila ng tapat ang kanilang tungkol.
Pacquiao also previously expressed his willingness to participate in a face-to-face debate with other candidates. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, BR1 News.
Now, here are other developments in Philippine politics. Vice President Leni Robredo maintains that she is not affected by trolls. Robredo, who is running for president in the 2022 poll, said being the target of disinformation campaigns is nothing new to her. But in her more than 5 years as vice president, she said she would rather focus her time and efforts on public service programs. Vice presidential aspirant Bongo says he is willing to undergo drug testing ahead of the 2022 elections. In a statement, Go said the proposal for candidates to take a drug test would ensure they are fit for public office. If elected vice president, he vowed to continue the legacy of President Duterte, which includes his stance against anti-illegal drugs. And a hybrid online and face-to-face campaign for the 2022 polls will be the way to go, at least for Partido Reforma's standard bearer, Senator Ping Lacson. Lacson said he and his running mate, Senate President Tito Soto, will embrace a hybrid electoral campaigning approach. Lacson said it is, quote, unfair if they were to stay online during campaigns while the other supporters joined on-ground activities. Now, as elections draw near, know more about the economic reforms of the 2022 presidential candidate Senator Panfilo Lacson joined the forum live on Meet the Presidentiables, Economic Reforms in the New Frontier, live on One News, simulcast on Radio 5 later today at 7:30 p.m. Now, you may also watch the live stream on One News, One PH, and Radio 5's Facebook and YouTube pages and on Signal Play. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.